the AT&T DECT 6.0. This is a fantastic phone system to use against the fight with spam and robocalls. Now, I know it's 2019 and most people use their cell phones now, even for at-home use, but there are some of us out there who work from home or have a home phone number that they've had for years that they don't want to give up. This is a fantastic system to use. And I'm going to go over some of the features and exactly what Smart Call Block is, because that's a feature that is included, and how it works and how well it works. Now, let's go over what you get with this unit. Now, you get 4 handsets. The base unit comes with an answering machine, and you also get these little docking stations. You get 3 of them for 3 of the handsets, and you get power cords along with it. Now, the reason why I even got this phone system was because of the Smart Call Block. Now, let me go ahead and turn on this light, maybe get a little bit more. There we go. Was because of the Smart Call Block. And the Smart Call Block, it's not exactly the way it sounds. It doesn't exactly block calls, but it diverts calls. And I'll get into that in a minute. Now, the AT&T DECT 6.0, and this is item number CL82407. I will have the link in the description in the video. Has a ton of features, everything that you would expect. Not only does it support call waiting and caller ID, but it also has a ton of other features, such as, of course, the speaker. It's got an instant call block button, your mute. It does support conferencing, redial, and it also has a menu. Right now, it's not going to show because the base unit's unplugged, but I will show you that all in a minute. You can also intercom between each handset, and you can also label each handset. And I'll show you in a little bit. One of them is called computer room, another is called living room, another is called kitchen. So you know exactly which handset that you're intercomming to, and you know exactly what room the handset belongs to. If you have kids or a lot of people in your family, sometimes you'll see a phone just laying out on the counter. You're like, okay, where does this go? Why is this laying out here? Well, if it tells you at the top, oh, living room, it's the living room phone, you know exactly where it goes. So the system itself is fantastic. The answering machine, it does include it, and it's in the base. It's a standard answering machine. Nothing really special about it. I think it does. The website says it holds up to 22 minutes of recordings. The range is pretty decent, and the speaker and the call quality, in my opinion, is pretty good. I've never had any issues. I had this for almost 2 years now. No issues at all. Here is how the Smart Call Block works. Okay. It works right out of the box. There's really no setup really needed. There might be a few things you want to do, such as setting whether or not you want the call to ring inside the house, and your whitelist and your allow list and your block list. You really don't have to worry about too much about the block list. Even though you can block up to 1,000 numbers, you really don't have to worry about it, and I'm explaining why. So the way Smart Call Block works, it's pretty much an answering system, and it pretty much plays a message. So you have an incoming call. Caller immediately hears a message from Smart Call Block.
Hello, calls to this number are being screened by Smart Call Blocker. If you're a family member, friend, or invited caller, please press pound to be connected. If you're a solicitor, please hang up now.
So, if you do not press pound, which a lot of robocalls won't because they're automated, they get disconnected. Boom, gone. Don't even have to worry about it. Friends and families and anybody else, if they press pound, then the call will redirect to the base unit here, or actually not just to the base unit, but to all the phones, and it'll actually ring inside your house. So you know, chances are you have a legitimate call. And you can also see it on the caller ID as well. And I'm going to test all that with you and show you exactly how that works. It's fantastic. It prevents at least 95% of the robocalls and spam calls from ringing in my home. It's fantastic. The only problem is you cannot block a range of numbers or names, such as if you have somebody who's constantly calling you from a 410-262 area, for example, you cannot block 410-262 and all the numbers under that. There's no way to do that, but you don't really have to worry about it because Smart Call Block is intercepting those calls anyway. And another thing I don't like is, I wish there was a way to turn off the caller ID so that if call block is blocking a call, it still shows you the caller ID of the incoming call. I don't care about that. Just block the call and disconnect it. I get why it's there, and I'm sure it'll help you if you're expecting a call, such as a delivery notice or a doctor's call. That way you know, oh, that's a doctor, I need to grab that. You can grab it right away. But me personally, I prefer not to even see that. I don't want to see it. If they really need me, they can press pound and they can ring inside the house. But there's no way to turn that off. Hey guys, so I went ahead and plugged back in the base unit, and here's something I wanted to tell you. If you lose power to your base units, you will have to reset the day and the time, and you'll have to re-record the greeting if you had a custom greeting on there. It will not save those settings. There is no battery backup on the base unit with the answering machine. So if you lose power, you just keep that in mind. You're going to have to reset it. Ironically, all the handsets will keep its settings. So as you can see right here where it says basement, I never had to reset that. And your allow list and your block list, if you had any numbers added to those lists, it'll also save that, so you don't have to worry about resetting that up. The only thing you have to redo is the day and the time, and re-record your home message. That's it. Now, if you have a custom message for the Smart Call Block, you're going to have to re-record that as well. Me, I keep the default. It's good enough. It's self-explanatory. It's short and sweet. There was no need for me to re-record it, but some people like to. So just keep in mind, if you lose power, you're going to have to, unless you have it on a UPS or something like that, you're going to have to re-record it. And as I said in before, you can see where I labeled my phone. So this one says basement, so I know exactly this one goes in the basement. Or if I look at this one says living room. I know exactly where that goes. That goes in their living room. Again, computer room. Right in the computer room. So, and also where you just saw, you can see in the corner the time and the day. So I had to reset that. And also tells you the answer machine. Another good thing about these phones, you can check the messages on the answer machine from any phone as well. All you do is hit menu. Right there where it says play messages, hit select, and it'll play the message for you.
You have no messages.
As you can hear, I don't have any messages, but if it had one, it'll say one new message from, and it's going to play the whole message. So that's a nice little touch. And you can also re-record your messages from any handset as well. And it's real easy to add numbers to your directory, and it's easy to add numbers to your intercom. Add numbers to your allow list and your block list. And this does have multiple ringtones that you can set as well. So there's a lot of little features in here. That the phone has. You get a lot for your money. So I'm very, very happy with this. This is one of the better systems that I've ever gotten to fight the war against those robocalls. If you're like me, you get a ton of them. And you don't have to, I get tired of having to add every single number to my block list because we get so many. Let Smart Call Block do that for you. Let it intercept it. You don't have to touch it. You don't have to touch it. Just let it do its thing. It's beautiful. It's one of the best things that I've gotten. You're going to hear some complaints online about other issues, but such as call quality, which I have not had any issues with. Some users complain about the volume. Again, no issues with it. So I can only go by my personal experience with an item, and this is well worth it to me. This is one of the best things that I've gotten. I've had all the call blocks in the past, and they were just either too complicated or they just simply didn't work. And like I said, this works. It works. Hi everyone, thank you for watching the review, and we are now going to go over the pros and cons. Everything has a con. There's nothing perfect out there, and this item is no exception. But let's go ahead over to the pros first. This phone does have a lot of features. It has all the standard features that you would expect, such as call waiting, caller ID. It does have conferencing and redial, all that good stuff. So it's got tons of features, everything that you would expect. The cordless range is pretty decent. I was able to take my phone outside and not lose any calls, but it's limited. I would say maybe 500 feet away from the base unit of wherever the phone's plugged in at. I think that'll be a safe assumption. So the range seems pretty good. I never had any problems with the range within reason. The smart call block. In my opinion, this is the best feature of this phone. And honestly, this is the whole reason why I even bought this phone. The smart call block works perfectly. At least for me, it works perfectly. It intercepts robocalls and spam callers, and it also gives the option for legit callers to bypass the system. All they have to do is press the pound key, and they will be redirected to the phone, and the phone will start ringing. If they don't press that pound key, which a lot of auto robo callers won't do, and even some solicitors won't do, they're going to get disconnected, and that's it. So those calls will never ring inside the house unless you have that feature turned on, which I don't, because it kind of defeats the purpose. But anyway, this is one of the best features. You don't have to worry about adding the call to a block list, because the call blocker or the smart call blocker intercepts it right away, so you don't have to worry about your list getting filled. And even if they do get past that, and a smart solicitor actually listens to the message and press pound, you have an option of manually blocking that as well. So it works very well. And in today's age, with all these robocalls that everybody's getting, I think this is a fantastic solution. The handheld units, which are four of them, this review that I'm reviewing right now, the kit that comes with four, the handheld units are very good. They have large displays. They're bright lit. They're brightly lit, and even the keypad lights up as well. So that no issues at all. Nice big number keys on there, as I'm looking at mine right now. And you're also able to label them as well. So if you have two phones in a room and you can't decide, where does the other phone go? Well, if you label them, living room, for example, okay, this one goes in the living room, this one belongs in the kitchen. Works out really, very, very, very well, and I think that's pretty cool. Nice little addition. The unit does come with a standard answering machine. There's nothing really special about it. It's just an answering machine. Only users who press pound or you have on your allow list will actually reach the answering machine anyway. So if you got any messages on there, they're legit messages. You don't have to worry about spam. The possibility it could be, a few of them on there, but most likely they're going to be legit calls. So you're good there. Very easy to use, very easy to set up. Although the manual can be a little intimidating, and we'll go over that later. But all in all, it's pretty simple to use. It's brightly displayed. It's well labeled, so that when you go through the menus, you know exactly where you're going and what you need to set up. So in my opinion, I think it's pretty good. The caller ID does have an audible announcement, so that when you're receiving a call and the phone's not in the same room with you, you might say work calling, or Mike's work calling, or Michelle calling, whatever. Whatever you have labeled, it's going to actually say the name. So I think that's pretty cool. Actually, I said the label, but actually whatever the caller ID says, it's going to say whatever it is. So I think that's pretty nice. And the unit is expandable up to 12 additional phones. I I say 12 additional phones, but what I mean is 12 phones total. So this one comes with 4, so we can expand it. We can add another 8 to it. So that's pretty good. If you have a really big house and you need more phones, well, you can expand it. So I think that's pretty neat. Now for the cons. I don't like the fact that when the call blocker is scanning a call, I don't need my phone's display to go off letting me know that a call is being scanned. And then it also tells me who the caller is. It doesn't ring my phone, but it shows up on the display. I get why it's there, because sometimes you have automated calls that are legit. For instance, like a delivery automation call that you might, I'm going to answer this. Or an appointment reminder, something like that. I get it, but most of the time you already know you're expecting that call, so you're going to be watching out for it anyway. But I wish there was an option to turn this on and off. There isn't. I mean, it's always there. And I just, in my opinion, just for me, my own personal usage, I don't need to see it. I don't want to see it. I only want to see legit calls. And I briefly pointed this out already about the manual. The manual can be pretty intimidating, and I'll throw up a screenshot here to give you an example. To me, there is a lot of info here, a little too much, a little too daunting for me. I'm the type of person that rather do it than read about it, but that's just me. It is generally easy to set up once you figure it out, but getting started and when you're first looking at the manual, you might get a little intimidated. You might get the little wow factor. Wow, there's a lot of information here. And you cannot block a specific range of numbers or area codes or names. It's not really a big deal because the smart call blocker pretty much takes care of most of that anyway, but it would be nice to be able to block numbers coming from, just for an example, area code 607. Well, I don't have any relatives that live in that area code. I shouldn't receive any calls on that area code. I would like the option to block all calls from that. You don't have that. Sometimes with solicitors, you'll get a name that comes across the same name that has several different numbers. And sometimes you just want to block that name. You know what? I don't want John Doe calling me. I don't care about John Doe. Don't know him. Block it. Well, there's no way to do that with this. Really, to me, it's not a big deal, but it's something that everybody should be aware of because it does not have that feature. So that's it. All in all, I'm going to give this a 4 stars. The reason why I'm giving it 4 stars is the main purpose of this phone for me was the smart call block. It's the first line of defense. People cannot really get past that announcement unless they press pound or unless you have them on your allow list. If you have them on your allow list, they don't even hear the message. They'll just ring directly through. That alone right there, I love it. The phones are pretty decent quality. I don't have any problems with sound or static or anything like that. And it's real easy to add people to your allow list. It's real easy to add numbers to the block list. I love the intercom feature. All in all, I think it's great. You get a lot of features and you get a lot of bang for your buck here. So don't forget to check out emptynestersreviews.com. We have more reviews there, such as books, camping gear, tents, and a lot more reviews that will be coming that you won't see anyplace else. Again, thank you all for watching the review. I hope this helps you in deciding whether or not you want to get this product or not. And we will have more reviews coming up in the near future. Thank you, everyone, for your time. And I hope you all have a good day. Thank you.